Ooh, James, let's watch this shine. This David's Dark Twisted Fantasy. Low key though, let's watch this, bruh. Cause this guy David is involved in some. Yes. Hold on.
The dismembered body of a 14-year-old girl was found decomposing in a plastic bag in the front truck of a
Hold on. David's Dark Twisted Fantasy.
pound lot. The Tesla was registered in Hempstead, Texas to David Anthony Burke, also known as multi-platinum singer and songwriter David, who currently has 2 million followers on Instagram and nearly 40 million monthly listeners on Spotify. David was on tour the day she was found, traveling from Madison, Wisconsin to Minneapolis, Minnesota. Authorities expressed that David was cooperating with them, so it seemed like this was some horrible coincidence. But every day
let me know after, cause this guy David, yes, he's involved in some deep shit. Yes. Let me know after.
Day that passed, more information came out that made David look more like the prime suspect. The girl was identified as Celeste Rivas Hernandez, who had run away from her home 14 months earlier and had been missing ever since. The LAPD said it is very likely she was dead for several weeks prior to her being discovered. Some of the other initial reports were shocking. She and David had a matching tattoo on their fingers. Her brother told police David regularly picked.
Wait, James, hold on. Let me just figure out my soundboard, cause I forgot. Hold on. I have that. Nice. Hold on. Oh wait, James, my fault.
Celeste up in the same Tesla she was found dead in.
Latinas are always involved. Latinas. My guy, this one was like 15, bruh. She was a minor. David did it. I wouldn't know. I don't know. I low-key don't know.
Photos and videos were resurfaced where the two appeared to be close friends, if not possibly a couple. And one of the last times she was ever seen in public, she was backstage at one of his concerts. Now, if you look at all of the evidence I'm about to give you in no particular order, it screams that David is guilty. And by no means am I trying to defend him or prove him innocent, but we are talking about a very serious murder of a child. And I think there are a lot of people on the internet that are looking at this as pure entertainment, and they're confusing this.
How old is David? How old is David? No, it's D4vd's. David is 20. Oh yeah.
The story and spreading false information because it makes for a more interesting crime documentary. With that being said, what I'm going to do is try to establish a very clear timeline of events, from the moment Celeste may have met David to when she went missing, to what happened while she was missing, and ultimately when she was found dead, and what has been proven so far. In July of 2022, David releases his breakout song Romantic Homicide, where he sings, "In the back of my mind, you died, and I didn't even cry, not a single tear."
Where she died in the back of my mind. Like, I didn't kill her physically, but in the back of my mind, she died.
This song would go extremely viral on TikTok, would eventually become multi-platinum, and launch him into fame. 1 month later, someone with the username Celeste messaged in David's Discord in August of 2022 saying that her parents are annoying and they won't let her go see him perform. He replies, "Don't worry, I'll fix it," which, if this was the victim, she would have been 11 years old at the time of this message. A few months later, in October of 2022, David asks for Celeste, and that same user replies, "Hi David, bark," seemingly excited to talk to him. She would have been 12 years old at the time. 1 year later, in October of 2023, David says he thinks girls his age are In December of 2023, a user in David's Discord takes a screenshot of what appears to be a live stream and asks David, "Who's the girl?" To which he replies, "You are a Fed," which basically means, "Why are you all up in my business?" Then again, if this was Celeste, who was not missing at this time, then he would be publicly hanging out with a 13-year-old. However, due to the low quality of this photo and half of her face being covered, it's hard to tell if this is actually Celeste. Plus, you will notice a trend of David always being around girls that looked the same. There is also this photo that may have been taken around the same time, December of 2023, although we don't have an exact date, but David's hair matched that color around late 2023 and early 2024. In January of 2024, David is seen on a live stream with the girl we strongly believe to be Celeste. It's important to know at the time of this stream, David was 18 years old, about to turn 19, and Celeste was 13. Also, she was not a missing person at this time.
Wait. Oh, look it. Answer that one. That's so mean if you
7-year
answer.
age
Which
gap.
one?
Oh nah, bro, this guy.
It was good that we're big family. Bro, thank you, Mitochondria.
We need to delete this.
Are we, Maz, can we delete all VODs? And then as soon as the stream ends, delete the stream too?
It's interesting that they both wanted this stream deleted, probably because Celeste made this joke about R-wording kids.
I media trained you.
No, you didn't.
That's controversial.
It's controversial of it's.
Really good.
Okay,
It's been a good one. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Oh my. Delete everything. Delete everything.
Oh,
Everything
nah.
Everything goes.
He says he media trained her, hinting that she can't just say wild things on the internet. Also in the chat, they are making jokes about David being on the Epstein flight logs. So it seems like the conversation was something about David and minors. Also, someone in the chat typed in Celeste's name. So at some point, she was identified on this stream as Celeste. Also at this time, David was rolling out a song called Leave Her, where he sings the lyrics, "I can't stop falling for her," and also was posting a ton of TikToks suggesting he was infatuated with a girl. Around this time, David started sporting a lot of Hello Kitty gear, mugs, shirts, plushies. He even romanticized a Hello Kitty girl. Hello Kitty almost became like an extension of his brand, and you'll notice a lot of Hello Kitty adjacent stuff with Celeste in a bit. In February of 2024, David's manager, Josh Marshall, entered a lease for a Hollywood Hills home. However, the owner wasn't informed that David was actually going to be the one living there. On February 14th, 2024, which was Valentine's Day, 70 miles south of David's home is a town called Lake Elsinore, California. A 13-year-old girl named Celeste Rivas Hernandez was reported missing. Family members made posts to Facebook asking people to help locate her. Celeste's aunt wrote, "We still don't know anything about my niece, and I will not get tired of begging."
Not gonna lie, gang. Change that shit, gang. Let's see big booty granny shaking ass. Hold on, I got you, boy. I got you. Hold on. Let's watch this video first. Hold on. I wanna see what's the word with this David situation.
God and appear well. I love you, and you know that the mercy of God will accompany you wherever you are. I have faith, and you will return to our arms. Missing person posters were distributed around.
I can't go over you yesterday, because yesterday, dog, there was so much booty in our face. Yesterday, bro, we saw a girl sag a thong. Where were you yesterday? There was so much booty for you yesterday, but you weren't here.
Celeste's neighborhood, and her family posted as many photos as possible to ensure she could be found. According to private investigator Steve Fisher, Celeste's mother somehow found out that she was with David and emailed his manager Josh, but this PI did not release the email. He also says a couple days after this email, Celeste returned home on February 20th, 2025. Celeste's cousin made a post on Facebook a few days after she returned home saying, "Be careful with who you talk to on the internet, guys. Don't make the same mistakes my cousin made." However, just a few weeks later, Celeste was reported missing for a second time in March of 2024. On March 19th, 2024, Celeste was captured on security camera footage belonging to Delago Spirits, a liquor store just down the street from her family home. At 7 a.m., a teen identified as Celeste by her family is seen walking down the street wearing an oversized black hoodie and white pants. Now, her being out at this time isn't necessarily weird because kids walk to school or the bus in the morning, but out of nowhere, she begins to run around the corner. What I find interesting is how the other person she walks past stops and turns their head to look back at Celeste, almost like she noticed something weird. Like, was she crying or did she say something? During this time, chat logs from David's Discord indicate that his closest fans knew about them. Someone said, "Pretty sure he is dating right now," and another user replied, "Yeah, her name is Celeste." Shortly after, Celeste was found and brought back home by police. Celeste was reported missing for the third and final time in April of 2024. 2024. The Riverside County Sheriff's Department
Always
opened a
missing.
missing person investigation after Rivas left her home at 9 p.m. on April 5th, wearing gray pants and a black sweater, as well as a hat and Hello Kitty sandals. Celeste's brother Matthew told NBC LA that family members were aware that the girl knew the singer David. Matthew Rivas said when his sister disappeared, she was on her way to see a movie with him, but never returned. Her brother also said that David regularly picked her up in the same Tesla her body was found in. Now, a reasonable person would assume that the family did not know that David was 19. Maybe they could have assumed he was 16 because that is the age you need to be to legally drive a car. Whether or not David knew that Celeste was 6 years younger than him at this point is not clear, but many people have a hard time believing that David could not be aware that he was regularly hanging out with, or worse, being romantically involved with a child. After April 2024, Celeste's family would never see her again. At least, we think. A source for the Daily Mail claimed Celeste stayed in contact with friends for more than a year after being reported missing. There was a photo of her taken at a family member's graduation, but it was posted in August of 2024, and graduations don't typically happen in August. So it was either sometime in May or June when graduations typically happen, or maybe even a full year before. But regardless, the photo seems like it was uploaded long after it was taken. While Celeste was missing, an insider revealed the family received a strange phone call that made them stop searching for her. I know someone who called her mom and said, "Stop looking for her, she's fine," the insider said. They told the family to take down the social media posts about her being missing. The identity of the alleged caller is unknown, and there's no way to know if they are connected to David. 2 months after being missing, on June 27th, 2024, many believe Celeste is captured backstage walking alongside David's brother at one of his concerts in Los Angeles. Now this evidence is much stronger, but pay attention here. David posted a TikTok on February 7th, 2024, before Celeste went missing the first time. It says, "When your card declines at therapy and they bring in that one Hello Kitty girl you met in 2021, take a look at his jeans and the Hello Kitty plushie looped onto his pants. This next photo is a POV shot of a girl with fair skin holding his belt loop wearing the Hello Kitty themed Crocs. Those Crocs match the ones that Celeste was wearing backstage, and the description of her missing person report says that she was wearing Hello Kitty sandals. Even though we can't 100% confirm, I do strongly believe that the girl who was captured going backstage is Celeste. But now there is a huge gap in the timeline, from June of 2024 to September 2025 when she was found dead. During this 14-month gap, very little is known, and it's very speculative as to what happened and where she was during that time. But this is all the evidence we have. July of 2024 is an insanely important month to remember, because basically all of the evidence that we have takes place in this 1 month period. July 7th, 2024, David posts a TikTok of him and a girl with the same skin complexion as Celeste sitting in his Tesla, with the caption, "Softest soft launch of all time," suggesting he is now in a relationship. Firstly, we know this wasn't a real-time photo because David was in London on July 7th for the first date of his My House Is Not a Home tour, which means that these photos were taken before July 7th. Maybe he was bored on the plane or in a hotel and just posted them. To know if this is Celeste, first we must take a look at some more photos posted by a TikTok account named Yay Woohoo. This account posted photos with David seemingly from that exact same day, including one of them kissing and him having a hickey on his neck. The red straight hair initially made people think this was not Celeste because she had black curly hair, but the backstage video of her in June seems to indicate she may have dyed her hair, and the frizziness is likely a result of using a hot flat iron to straighten thick curly hair. There was also a Discord user in David's official Discord named Yay Woohoo, matching the TikTok account name, who insiders assumed was Celeste. But look at the profile picture. It is seemingly from the perspective of the Yay Woohoo girl and David in the Tesla. They're both doing the Spider-Man hand thing at the camera. It looks like David's hand is on the left and her hand is on the right. You can even spot a ring on her finger, which I will get to in a second. In this photo, it seems like they are parked next to another car with the windows rolled down, just like some teenagers hanging out late at night. It appears that the car next to them has someone in it with a black hoodie on. I mean, I think that jumble of pixels is a person. So if you compare that Yay Woohoo profile picture on Discord with some of the photos that were posted on TikTok, it seems like they may have been chilling all day and all night in that Tesla, sort of taking pictures and hanging out. On July 11th,
CIA.
2024, David wrote a message in his Discord that said, "Me and deleted user have a kid on the way. We don't know if that deleted user is the same Yay Wahoo user, but it might be." David was in Paris when he wrote that message. Many people suggest that he was talking about Celeste and have developed tons of theories surrounding this alleged pregnancy. First of all, even if this was true, there's no way that that baby was born. That would mean that a baby would have been born in April of 2025 at the absolute latest, and I don't think you are hiding a baby for this long. Now, it is possible that the pregnancy could have been real and maybe there was an abortion, or maybe she got pregnant again, but we are really stretching that at this point. People have also used this photo, which was posted by Yay Wahoo, as Celeste standing behind David and mimicking a pregnancy announcement, comically placing her hands around an invisible baby bump on David's belly. Basically, people on the internet are trying to establish a motive, that David may have gotten Celeste pregnant and maybe he thought that that would ruin his career, or people would find out that he got a child pregnant.
I cannot
and the
wait
result
for the day you tell me to ban someone.
of
Yeah,
that
got you,
was
boys. Don't
potentially a
worry.
murder. That definitely
One
could
day
be
when
a
I ban
motive,
someone.
and we don't want to discredit that
One day.
completely, but it does seem like the timeline doesn't exactly match up. Also, this theory has been debunked because Celeste Rivas' official death certificate revealed that she was not pregnant and had not been pregnant in the last year. Anyways, Yay Wahoo is now a deleted account, but there is a Discord chat log that has this person identifying themselves as Yay Wahoo and then saying she is with David right now on July 22nd, 2024. Which could definitely be true because David's European tour ended 6 days before this message. This user also posted a photo in David's Discord wearing a ring where you can also see a red finger tattoo that says David. And if we go back to the Yay Wahoo TikTok post, all the way in the bottom right corner, you can see what looks like a
You know, niggas are crazy for finding this.
red finger tattoo. And then again, if we look at the Yay Wahoo Discord profile picture, you can also see the ring on the finger. Also, this same mystery girl, Yay Wahoo, who we think might be Celeste, made a post on Instagram under the name Hello Kitty Life Girl sitting across from David. I believe this photo was also posted around July of 2024 because David dyed his hair all the way black at that time and posted a photo of him wearing what appears to be that same pink shirt. In the Hello Kitty Life Girl photo, you can see the ring and the red tattoo on the girl's finger. Plus, she was wearing a sweater that David had been photographed in. The red tattoo is important because authorities confirmed that the body they found inside the Tesla had a tattoo on her right index finger with the letters shh. David also has a tattoo on his finger that says shh, meaning they allegedly have matching tattoos. But this is confusing because Yay Wahoo's tattoo doesn't say shh, it says his name. And it's also on her left ring finger, not her right index finger. Which means Yay Wahoo either isn't actually Celeste, or that red David tattoo wasn't real and maybe it was a temporary tattoo. Or this could be Celeste and she had both tattoos. She had shh on this finger and then she had David's name on her ring finger. But if that were true, then it makes the police report incredibly confusing. When the police found the body in the Tesla, they knew that it was the pop star David's Tesla. And then they said that, oh, she had a matching tattoo with David that said shh. Why would they reveal that and not the one that says David on her finger? That would not be the easiest connection ever. Like, oh, okay, this car belongs to David, body in the car. Oh yeah, her finger says David. Like, that seems like really, really crucial evidence. That's just where something doesn't really match up for me. While reviewing this edit, I had another thought about this whole ring finger situation. The police did reveal that the body was dismembered or cut up. We don't know to what extent, how bad it was, or what was missing, but it makes me think if potentially the left ring finger or maybe the left hand was missing as a potential way to cover up the evidence, this would be some insane level, like serial killer, premeditated murder type stuff. At the end of July 2024, we have this photo of David at a party and a girl that strongly resembles Celeste, or Yay Wahoo, behind him. Red
That
curly
looks
hair,
like a
ring on the
low-key-
finger, wearing
That low-key
David's
looks
silk
like a-
bandana that he has worn hundreds of times. I'm pretty sure that Yay Wahoo is Hello Kitty Life Girl, and it is that girl wearing the silk bandana behind David at the party. But I can't confirm that this is Celeste, although it does seem like it. But there is even more evidence to dissect in July of 2024, I think. And and it starts with this photo that was taken right around the corner from Celeste's house. Reports have not identified her exact address, but they revealed that she lived down the street from Del Lago Spirits in Lake Elsinore, California, which would mean somewhere on Jamieson Street. A new townhome community was being developed down Laguna Ave, less than a half a mile away from where Celeste lived. Referring to Google Maps, you can see this is the same parking lot that the photo was taken. Note the double-lined parking lot spaces, specifically the one all the way on the end next to the dirt patch. Also note across the street the brown fence that turns into a white fence, and take note of the wooden utility poles in the back that have the 3 distribution transformers on them. Since David lives 70 miles from Lake Elsinore, California, the only reason he would be down there right around the corner from where she lives is because he at least knew her, at least hung out with her. I mean, we know for a fact at this point there's absolutely no like world where he's like, oh yeah, I don't know who this girl is, I never met her, and nothing. There's enough evidence where they were together for sure. They spent time together. Now, text messages were released by someone who contacted this kid who was standing across from David to give context about why they were in that parking lot. Bro, this was a secret that wasn't supposed to get out. David didn't know how old the girl was. She was lying and saying she was 19 when he was 20, and the second he found out, he took her home, and since we were some dumb kids, we tried to blackmail him, and we really messed up. And if you keep that video up, you could ruin his life for doing nothing wrong over a girl lying, and then you could ruin my life because he would know I leaked it and I could go to jail for like slandering him. Now, we know this kid's story can't be all the way true because it makes it seem like David hung out with Celeste one time, she lied about her age, and then he drove her back home. And we know they hung out more than one time. But the specific details of this kid blackmailing David actually don't matter. What does matter is simple. This kid knew about David and Celeste, and David did not want anyone else to know about them. And he was willing to pay someone to forget about it, which, you know, opens the door up for so much speculation after like how many times could he have paid someone off or had somebody keep quiet or just, you know, controlled his surroundings to make sure that nobody found out about him and Celeste. However, the date of when this happened is extremely important, and I have some weak evidence, but I do think this parking lot transaction also took place in July of 2024. But we have to focus on the outfit. Now, he wore this beanie for the first time publicly in February of 2024, which was around the first time Celeste went missing. He posted 2 TikToks wearing the cap, but David had long hair in February of 2024, and you could see his hair protruding from the sides of his hats. In the parking lot photo, you can't see his hair from the sides. However, in July of 2024, he posted a TikTok wearing nearly the exact same outfit as the parking lot photo. But David was in Europe at the time of posting this TikTok. There are also no other photos or videos of him wearing this exact beanie in this color anytime after July of 2024. Now, I told you the evidence was weak. However, brand new evidence was just released that throws an unexpected curveball in this entire situation. TMZ obtained a video recorded by a Nest doorbell camera on September 8th, 2024. But the crazy part is, she is back home in Lake Elsinore, and she got into an argument with her neighbors.
Let me talk real quick, okay? You gonna let me talk?
I ain't gonna let you talk.
No, you ain't gonna let me talk. Why you not gonna let me talk? You tripping.
I ain't tripping.
Nah, you tripping. How about you ain't tripping? You gonna let a woman talk? Alright, I'm not gonna let your woman talk.
The rest of the clip is just her screaming back and forth with the neighbors. Now keep in mind, Celeste's birthday is September 7th. This video is on September 8th at what seems to be like early hours in the morning, which indicates she was up late, potentially celebrating her birthday. Maybe she was with family. I mean, we know she was home. And to me, she sounds intoxicated or under the influence. Fans immediately recognized Celeste's voice and confirmed that it was the same voice that is in David's songs Invisible String Theory and You Left Me First, but I can't play them due to copyright. Now, a lot of people on the internet are trying to say that like, oh, David's lawyers are revealing this.
What songs? You Left Me First. I
Copyright. Now, a lot of people on the internet are trying to say that like, oh, David's lawyers are revealing this, and they're trying to make her look like angry or unruly to try to paint some sort of narrative that maybe she is somehow at fault for her own death, but that is honestly just totally not focusing on what is mostly important about this clip. This is a massive reveal because it completely reshapes the timeline of Celeste's disappearance. Until now, the assumption was that she vanished in April of 2024 and that her family had never seen her since, and that we had to do our investigative detective work to assume that maybe the last time she was ever seen was the end of June backstage at that one David show. But this Ness video proves she was still alive in September of 2024, which means every theory built around her going missing in April or going missing after June or July has to be reconsidered. It drastically narrows the potential window of when she may have died, and it places her back at home, not hidden away, abducted, or deceased. It also raises new questions about why her family didn't publicly clarify that they saw her or that she returned home. TMZ reported that when the neighboring family saw Celeste that night, they just assumed she'd been found and everything was fine. So when did she go missing again? Was she just running away and coming back so much that her family couldn't keep up and just forgot? Did they just get used to her being gone for extended periods of time? Like, oh yeah, like Celeste, she just ran away again. We haven't seen her for a few weeks. 'Cause remember the first time she ran away, February 2024, they made a big deal, rightfully so. Posters, flyers, posts on Facebook. In March of 2024, when she disappeared, same thing. More posters, more flyers. They went down the road to the liquor store to find the surveillance footage. But then April of 2024, not as much. And it sounds messed up to say, but you can imagine a family, if they have a child who keeps running away and keeps not wanting to be back home, like eventually you're probably going to stop putting up the flyers and the posters, especially if she periodically is coming back home. Now, the idea that David's legal team could be purposefully releasing this to help his case, I mean, yeah, that is possibly true. Well, that's what they're going to do. I mean, they're defending their own case, which logical people understand that. This doesn't necessarily clear him, but it is interesting that previously we thought the last time she had ever been seen alive was backstage at one of his shows, and now the last time that she had ever been seen alive is actually at home. But we still have 12 months of a total blackout period, essentially nothing. No photos, no videos, or anything to prove that she was alive after September of 2024 and ultimately until she was found dead September 2025. From an investigative perspective, that 12-month gap is critical because it creates a complete blackout of evidence. In any missing person's case, the period between disappearance and discovery is when investigators look for sightings, digital traces, financial activity, or even small inconsistencies that can narrow down a timeline. But with Celeste, there is basically nothing. That void doesn't point investigators towards a suspect or location, it leaves them with nothing. Now again, I am not defending David. We do know at some point he was spending time with this 13-year-old girl, that she was running away from home to go and hang out with him. We know that they were at least friends, or maybe even potentially more than friends, but this 12 to 14 month gap between, the last time that David had contact with her and then her being dead, I mean, that blackout period, it actually makes his case stronger because literally anything could have happened. She could have been in a different country. She could have met some other guy. She could have been dead. I mean, there's so many things that could have happened that your imagination can go anywhere. There is this one tiny thing that might be a clue. In February of 2025, David posted this TikTok on his burner account of him joking about cleaning shoes as a side hustle. He's cleaning a pair of Hello Kitty shoes as well as a pair of white, black, and gray Jordans that seemingly match a pair that Celeste owned. Some people have interpreted this as him cleaning up his crimes. And the next clue or evidence, which honestly isn't even that strong, doesn't show up until July of 2025, which is a full year later. In July of 2025, 2 months before Celeste was found dead, another girl named Celeste was seen hanging out with David, completely confusing the story. And it starts with this video of him at an arcade. Some live streamers walked up to him, and you could see this girl on the right has her back to the camera. David grabs her arm and pulls her in towards him, and she walks backwards purposefully, keeping her back to the camera until he physically turns her around.
Don't be shy, don't be shy.
She is seen wearing what looks like the exact same Gap hoodie that was in the photos on the missing person poster. When I first saw it, I thought, wow, okay, this is definitely the missing girl. But we now know it's not. In a photo posted by one of David's friends, you can see Celeste Herrera is tagged, wearing the same thick square frame black glasses. And you can see David in the background wearing that same silk bandana. This girl is 23 years old. Here is another shot of her from the front, and you could see that this is not the same missing Celeste. Others speculated that the missing Celeste is the girl in the gray flannel in the back, but that is also untrue. That is just a friend of Herrera's named Vanessa, seen pictured here, and she goes by the Instagram username Space Doll. Now, is it really strange that he was hanging out with another girl named Celeste who had the same exact hoodie and looked very similar? Yes, but what it means is up to speculation. It's evident that David kept a very specific type of girl around him. Fair brown skin, dark curly hair. He even has a music video where a girl with light brown skin and dark curly hair gets murdered and thrown in the trunk of a car. Some say this was on purpose, like these were decoys or distractions so nobody could find out about the missing Celeste. And if that were true and this was all by design, now we're talking about like Dahmer level, Bundy level, like serial killer behavior. But again, that's just speculation. I've seen people say that Celeste's friends stopped hearing from her in July of 2025 as a way to prove that she was still alive at this point, but this case is serious enough where we need irrefutable proof of that. However, the facts of this case really start to ramp up and become crucial around August of 2025. On August 5th, 2025, David performed the first show of his Withered World Tour in Del Mar, California. Upon entering the venue, fans encountered a vigil where David commemorated the death of his alter ego, Atami, which represented the subconscious evil that we all have within us, according to an interview from 2024. David expressed wanting to create an animated series surrounding his alter ego.
Then he's basically an agent of chaos and kind of my alter ego, and the story of the manga went like I was a detective and there was an evil version of myself that would kind of come out at random moments. He would commit the crimes that I would have to solve as the detective.
David has also been known to express his love for gore, at one point even saying he was addicted to watching gore videos. I like writing gory psychological drama, romantic quotes, and a lot of death, he says. He admitted that he became so desensitized to it that he would laugh at gore videos or videos of murder. Another signature part of his branding was his blood-stained shirt that he often took photos in, performed in. David's artistic branding has consistently revolved around death, violence, and psychological darkness, but he complements it with these beautiful singing ballads that make it feel poetic and romantic rather than purely grotesque. This isn't necessarily new at all. Tons of super famous artists like XXXTentacion, My Chemical Romance, Trippie Redd, 9 Inch Nails have pursued a similar artistic direction. However, now people are looking at his branding as almost him hiding in plain sight. At the opening night of the Withered tour, David's fans were greeted with an elaborate setup that included a casket being wheeled out of a hearse. Inside, the casket sat near a wreath and a guest book where people could write notes to Atami. David's online shop sells something called the Withered Scrapbook, where his fans are encouraged to share, when do you feel like Atami takes over? What usually happens? And how does it make you feel? Another page asks fans to write a letter to Atami, talk to them like a friend or maybe an enemy, and let them know how you feel about their presence in your life. This is especially disturbing because during the first few weeks of this tour, the LAPD believes there was a dead girl decomposing inside the trunk of his Tesla. The residents of the Hollywood Hills community where
Yeah, I can't lie, gents. David is fucked either way. David is fucked either way, so I'll minus that situation for now. I'll just minus it and let's go watch something else. David is fucked either way.